Just listen to Clarko last night. I just heard him just mention the Kangaroos just in passing. Did you hear this or not?
What?
Would you coach North? Yeah.
Would you coach North?
Can we hear that again? Can we hear that? It's quick.
Would you coach North? Yeah.
So excited.
Now,
My phone lit up when he said, yeah.
well, we can be flippant about it, but is there a chance?
Well, he said all 18 teams are a chance. So I really like the fact that he's put that out there. I don't think he's hiding away from the fact that people want him. We all know that people want him. It's an awkward situation for him. He doesn't want to be seen to be taking anyone's job or putting any pressure on. But when he said, yeah, I thought, hang on a sec.
Just one more time. Will Clarko
Would you coach North? Yeah.
That's surely a TikTok or a meme or something by now, isn't it?
Yeah,
Someone's created that. All right, North fans, 1300 736 736. David King shot off a group text quicker than you wouldn't believe
What
when that.
What do you mean?
Well, when he said that, you shot off the
Oh,
audio
I found
quickly
it
to
humorous. I found it humorous.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Very
You're
happy with
a
that,
North
man.
guy. If someone wants to come to your club like Clarko, I think you should be excited. You challenged me. Well, you challenged me last week. You said I'd been soft on Ken and hard on Adam Simpson. On the back of me saying that I don't think Adam Simpson will be there or should be there for the rebuild at West Coast. I did say what a phenomenal job he's done, great coach, but is he willing to stick around for however long it takes? Now, could be 5, could be 6 years. You said big clubs can rebound quickly and can rebuild quicker, and perhaps thought I was a bit hard on him. Then I was listening to you
compared to Ken.
I was listening to you on Jared on Monday. Now, this clearly more information had come to light since Friday with the 7
fair bit more.
with the 7 players that went night clubbing. But you turned pretty quickly because then you did say you wondered and you pondered whether you thought it was time. No. Whether he would be thinking it was time for a divorce. The word you used was divorce.
Because that's how.
Why have you changed so quickly?
No, I haven't changed. This is what happened with Footy Classified, right? This is where you got this totally wrong. You didn't play the bit at the end where I said that would be his starting point, questioning himself. He would be saying, "Are these guys not listening to me? Am I the right? If they're not listening to me, am I the right voice to continue?"
Wasn't that my point? Hasn't that been my point the whole time?
But prior to us talking on Friday, there hadn't been 7 guys go to a nightclub that we were aware of.
There'd been a couple, I think, by that stage, and I think
there'd been 2, and one of them was going to play. We hadn't heard the 7. The number, the volume was the one that rocked me.
But my criticism had been around standards at West Coast on the back of Elliot Yeo some weeks ago and the way that he presented himself, and I just questioned whether Adam had allowed the players to be lulled into that false sense of security and whether their standards have slipped. Now, the nightclubbing probably validates that opinion. But Matthew Lloyd, I just wanted to play this to you because I think it's fair that we get your response. Matthew Lloyd, I think, had a theory that perhaps you'd spoken to Adam. Let's have a listen. Hold on. Oh, we'll get that up in a second. Matthew Lloyd on Footy Classified. So this information, your changing of opinion, is solely based on the 7 players.
If he wants to be the rebuild coach, he will be the rebuild coach. The West Coast want him to be the rebuild coach. They don't want to lose him. So the only movement here that can possibly happen is if Adam Simpson changes his mind and says they're not listening to me or there's been a shift. That's the only change. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Let's have a listen to Lauder.
And when I was listening to that live, David talking about the way Adam Simpson found out, to hear there was another 5, the lies, it just had me thinking that former teammates, Adam Simpson maybe doesn't believe he's being treated very well by the players, and you start questioning yourself and the message and how can players treat me like that? The players and coach relationship, Cara, it has to be rock solid.
I agree with that. This really annoys me, and this is the opening from Footy Classified that I'd spoken to him. I haven't spoken to him about it, okay? And I can't win by saying that because people say I defend him overly, and the message, the temper text here light up. Oh, you're too soft on Simpson. You back him too much. Then you go the other way, and you get, oh, you've spoken to him. Now you're a mouthpiece for Simpson. You can't win. All I can do is be honest with you and say I haven't spoken to him, and I'm trying to give a bit of a look into what he would be thinking. But you can take it or leave that. The second part to my little go at you is, I think, quite humorous. I don't think you should ever go into list management, by the way. I don't think you should ever look at rebuilding any club
See,
anywhere.
this is where you do get worded up from your mates at North Melbourne, I think.
What do you mean?
Well, say what you're going to say, and then
Well, I heard you talking about the rebuild and the Kangaroos had got it all wrong, and just want to back over something you said on Monday, which was on Footy Class. I really enjoy your segment. It's the close checking.
No, if you're going to be serious,
checking.
don't chuck in humour. If you're gonna have a debate with me, there's a time for humour and there's a time for debate. Let's have a listen.
Let's have a
When you make list management errors like they have made, and I was watching Dumont play on Friday for a team that played in the prelim final, and he was exceptional for Port Adelaide, playing on the wing. They gave him for nothing.
I can see them sitting back in 3 years' time, the Kangaroos, and saying, you know what, we got Phillips going really well, Thomas is on fire, Horn Francis is going really... Simpkin, what a star he's become. Powell's now come into the team. If only we had Trent Dumont still on our list, the rebuild will be complete.
Yeah, no, but
he was on the list for 8 years, man.
I know, but the point has been lost. That was Greenwood a good pickup? Like, do you think they're going to sit back and go, gee, Horn Francis and the players you mentioned, Greenwood was a great pickup? Are they going to say, gee, Jared Pollock at 5 years and we delisted him 3 years into his contract was a good pickup? Are they going to say Coleman Jones was a great pickup for 4 years and he can't get a game or do any damage? Are they going to say Bozanalagi is a good pickup and he can't touch the footy? Are they going to say? Are they going to say Will Phillips was a good pick at pick 3? I don't know.
You don't think he is?
I don't think so.
Well, okay. Well, put it on the table.
I did. I just said that. I said, and right now the senior players at North are not giving you what you need. And then you look at Dumont's playing a very valuable role
rebuild, man.
Now
it's a rebuild.
Yeah, I know it's a rebuild, but you can't just cut deep. You've got to keep some you've got to keep some seniority around the players. Otherwise, these first and second and third year players, even Simpkin, even Uniac, who's been around for a long time now, they're not impacting that the way they could be if they were supported by Ben Brown, by Mason Wood, by Trent Dumont. I'm not going to say they're...
There are reasons. There are reasons. You're just flippant with them. You really are. I mean, the Ben Brown discussion. Ben Brown was offered a 3-year contract worth big money, wanted 4. In the end, that became testy and they parted company. So what do you do there? Do you just pay players what they want to keep them through a rebuild period?
Well, they paid big money for Coleman Jones. That's what I'm saying. You prioritise.
But he's going to be there for 10 years.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Well, that's the aim, isn't it? It's hard to get players. It's hard to attract players to clubs. So I think you've got to grab them while you can. And the Kangaroos said, okay, we haven't got Ruckman after Goldstein, and Cherry we're not sure about. He had a pretty good year or start to this season as well. So I think you've got to take a risk or two. You can't just sit on your hands.
But I think you are open to scrutiny if you let someone go for nothing, and then all of a sudden, it's the same thing that's happening with Will Brodie and Stewie Dew and Jared Lyons. It's the same.
How many games will Trent Dumont play for the rest of the year?
I'm not sure, but I reckon if he was at North Melbourne, he would have played all of them, or certainly would have warranted selection.
Yeah,
from what I'm seeing,
from I don't think it's going to shake the rebuild.
From Jack Zeeble, from Bozanalagi, from Kane Turner, who's now 26. From what I'm seeing for them, I reckon Trent Dumont would have been okay. Hey, we've touched on concussion. Now, you're a massive advocate for making the game safer, and honestly, I say this genuinely, I admire your passion for the topic. I've challenged you and others because there's a lot with you, and I'm never going to be critical of you wanting to make the game safer. Did you see Jason Horne-Francis concuss Switkowski? Now, he's not playing this week. It was after he went for a specky that he didn't mark. No one said anything. Now, we've done this discussion. Is what Jason Horne-Francis did more dangerous an act than what Paddy Ryder did?
Marking contests a fair game. We've discussed this. If you drive your knee into someone's back or neck to make it a greater position to take the mark, the ball is your focus. I have no problem with that. All we're trying to do is limit the occasions that are available to concuss players. And we've started with taking out the head-high bump, and we've tried to avoid, and that is 70% of concussions. So that's the starting point. And I think it's a great initiative. You're going to have the odd one in a marking contest. I don't see why you keep bringing this up.
Because I think it's more dangerous than what Paddy Ryder did. So I don't think you can have it both ways. I think if you're not comfortable with Ryder bracing for contact and hitting Will Day high, you can't be comfortable with Jason Horne-Francis
You're too
flying.
lenient on the brace. The
flying-
brace is a bump, mate. The brace is a sexy word for saying he got there late and in the end protected himself. So he put his safety above the other players.
Can I
That's
just say,
what a
I
brace
don't
is.
want the high mark out of the game, but I'm saying you can't have both. If you want the brace out or
have
the
both.
bump,
You can have
you
both.
can't have a player almost out of control flying for a specky that he gets one hand to and leaves a knee in the back of Switkowski's head that he's not
But
playing
you're
this
the
week.
first to tell me. You're the first to say to me, you're going to have concussions in the game. That is one area you are going to have concussions in the game.
But
We
you don't,
can't
you're-
stop that.
But you can. You can outlaw it like you have the brace or the bump.
No, we haven't outlawed the brace at all.
Well, you sort of have.
No, the brace. That's not true. That's not true. Willie Rioli.
With Matt Rao.
He
Yeah, it was
braced.
more in a marking.
He
in a
braced.
marking
He
contest.
was let off because of the brace. I think
I just think
you're
it's-
losing your way with this argument.
It's no, I'm not at all.
Yeah.
It's just
You've got to
um,
let the marking contest play out. That's part of the game.
anything goes in a marking contest, but
Pretty much.
not everything goes in a contest for a ground ball.
Yes, exactly.
What? Yeah, okay. Well,
Because we're taking the greater
so why is
percentage of concussion
the
out of the game.
high mark more important than a ground ball, which happens a lot more than the
Because
high mark?
it's easier. I think it's a part of the game where players are going after the ball fundamentally, not contact.